The arena was alive with thunder. Tens of thousands of alien voices roared together. The air shook with their screams. Red banners waved above the stone walls. Dust rose from the ground as heavy gates opened wide. From one side stepped the champion. An 8-foot alien gladiator. Her skin was dark red. Her body covered in heavy armor carved with ancient symbols. Her muscles rippled with every move. Her golden eyes glowed with confidence. She lifted her weapon high, a massive blade that looked heavier than most men. The crowd screamed her name. They loved her. They worshipped her strength. On the other side of the arena, a single figure appeared. A human marine, smaller, lighter, almost fragile compared to the alien giant. His armor was scratched from old battles. His weapon looked simple, nothing like the shining blade of the alien. He walked calmly, his eyes steady, his steps slow, but... Sure, the crowd laughed at once. The human will die. Voices shouted, "This is no fight. This is a sacrifice." The alien gladiator smirked. Her sharp teeth flashed in the light. She raised her blade and pointed it at the human. "You should have stayed with your kind, little soldier," she mocked. Her voice echoed across the arena. The human marine did not answer. His face was calm. His eyes studied her every movement. He stood still in the sand, holding his weapon with one hand as if it weighed nothing. The alien walked in circles, showing her power. Each step made the ground shake. The crowd loved her display. They cheered her name again and again. She roared, "Watch me break him." Her voice made the walls tremble. The Marine raised his chin. His voice was low but carried across the arena. "We will see." The words angered the giant. She rushed forward. Her massive blade swung down like a storm. The ground cracked as the weapon hit, but the human was already gone. He moved fast. Faster than her eyes could follow. The crowd gasped as dust exploded. The alien laughed. "You run well, little one, but you cannot hide forever." She swung again, this time faster. The blade cut through the air, but again the human stepped aside with ease. His boots barely touched the sand. His calm eyes never left her face. The crowd began to murmur. This was not the fight they expected. The human should have fallen already, yet he stood untouched. The alien frowned. Her pride stung. She slammed her blade into the ground, sending a wave of dust toward him. He slid back but stayed firm, his weapon ready, his breathing steady. For the first time, doubt flickered in her golden eyes. "You move like a shadow," she growled. "But shadows cannot hurt me." She swung once more, her full strength behind the attack. The sound echoed like thunder. This time the human lifted his weapon and blocked. The clash rang across the arena. Sparks burst into the air. The crowd screamed louder than before. The small human had stood against the giant. His arms held steady. His body did not break. The alien stepped back, surprised. Her mocking smile faded. She tilted her head and studied him now. No longer a rat to crush, but something else, something dangerous. The crowd fell into silence for a moment. The only sound was the wind carrying dust across the arena. All eyes were fixed on the two fighters, the giant with her blade, the human with his calm stance. The alien sneered, trying to shake off her doubt. "You are still small. You are still weak. I will crush you slowly so the crowd can laugh." Her words were sharp, but inside her chest, anger mixed with unease. The human said nothing. He only adjusted his grip. His eyes sharp, his body loose and ready. The fight had only begun, but already the crowd sensed it. This was not a simple battle. This was not a sacrifice. This was something different. Something that would be remembered. The alien giant, once mocking, now burned with pride. The human marine, calm as stone, waited. Between them the air grew heavy. The arena shook with tension. Then the alien roared and charged again. The sound of her steps like thunder. The human moved, his figure a blur. The crowd rose to its feet, shouting, gasping, waiting to see who would fall first. And in that moment, as dust and screams filled the arena, the real battle began. The alien gladiator circled the human like a beast hunting its prey. Her heavy footsteps made the sand tremble. The crowd roared with excitement, their voices rising like a storm. They shouted insults, they laughed, they mocked the human four. Even daring to stand in the arena, look at the little soldier. One alien cried from the stands, "He is like a child lost among giants." Others laughed, clapping their hands. "He cannot win. He should kneel now and beg for mercy." The giant gladiator smiled at their words. She raised her arms high, lifting her blade as if showing her prize to the crowd. "This fight is already over," she shouted. Her deep voice shook the air. "Watch how easily I break him." Lyra, the announcer of the games, spoke through the echoing horns. Her voice was sharp and full of cruelty. "Behold, the human dares to challenge the champion. A foolish gamble, one that ends tonight." The audience cheered, stomping their feet in rhythm. The entire Colosseum shook with their chant. The human marine, however, stood still, his eyes calm, his breathing steady. He did not answer their laughter. He did not flinch at their insults. He only watched the alien gladiator carefully, his mind sharp, his focus unbroken. The alien giant swung her blade once more. The air cracked as the weapon sliced downward. The human stepped aside with perfect timing. Sand flew into the air, but the blade missed. The crowd jeered. "Run, little human, run until you cannot breathe." The Marine slid across the ground and lifted his weapon again. His boots made no sound as he moved. He stood firm once more, his calm eyes locked on the giant. The alien growled, her pride stung deeper with every miss. "Stand still and fight, coward," she mocked, her voice full of rage. She charged again, her massive body like a storm rolling across the arena. The human waited until the last second, then he twisted to the side. His smaller blade slashed across her armor. Sparks flew. The alien's eyes widened in shock. The crowd gasped for a moment, silence cutting through their laughter. But then, the mockery returned, louder than before. "He only scratches her. That is nothing. He cannot break her." They shouted, "The giant will crush him soon." The noise rose higher, filling the arena with cruel laughter. The alien gladiator bared her teeth. She lifted her blade and struck again and again. Each swing heavy, each strike meant to kill. The human dodged, blocked, and countered with precision. He did not waste his strength. He did not waste his breath. He fought with patience. The crowd mocked every move. "Too slow, human," they cried. "You dance, but you will fall. She will smash your bones." Their laughter echoed across the sky. The Marine heard their words but did not break. He knew their voices meant nothing. Only the fight mattered. He could feel the rhythm of the alien's movements. He could see the anger building in her golden eyes. Anger made her sloppy, and sloppiness opened doors. The alien swung down once more. The human blocked with his blade. The sound rang like thunder. The giant pushed with all her strength, trying to crush him into the sand. The crowd cheered wildly. "Yes, finish him." But then the Marine shifted his stance. His feet moved with speed. His blade twisted. He slid out from under her strike. The alien lost her balance, her knees bending as she stumbled forward. Gasps rose from the crowd. The human did not strike. Not yet. He simply stepped back and raised his blade again. Calm as before, his silence burned hotter than any insult. The alien gladiator roared, her voice shaking the walls. "Do not laugh at me," she shouted to the sky. But the crowd only laughed louder, mocking both her anger and his calm. The human's eyes did not move, his body ready, his patience endless. He knew the fight was far from over. He knew the crowd's laughter was only fuel. He would use it. He would turn it against her. The alien pounded her chest with one fist, raising her blade with the other. "I am the champion of this arena," she roared. "No human can defeat me. Watch as I tear him apart." The crowd chanted her name again, drowning the arena in sound. But hidden within the noise, some voices whispered differently. They had seen how the human moved. They had Seeing the calm in his eyes, a seed of doubt began to grow. The human marine stood in the center of the arena, his blade steady, his eyes sharp. He had heard every laugh, every insult, every chant, but in his heart, there was only silence. Silence and a plan. And as the alien giant charged once more, the crowd mocking and cheering at the same time, the real test of strength and will was about to begin. The alien gladiator's roar echoed across the arena. Her blade slashed through the air again. Each strike was meant to crush the human marine where he stood. Sparks flew as her weapon tore across stone and metal. The ground shook with every blow. The crowd cheered, chanting her name. Their voices were like thunder rolling through the Colosseum. They wanted blood. They wanted to see the human broken on the sand. To them, this was entertainment, nothing more. But the human marine did not fall. He moved like water. His body bent and twisted with speed. His blade rose only when needed, blocking with precision. His feet were light, dancing across the ground. The alien giant snarled. Sweat glistened on her red skin. Her golden eyes burned with fury. She had crushed dozens before him. None had lasted this long. None had stood against her with such calm. She hated his silence. She hated his patience. "Fight me with strength," she shouted, her voice shaking the air. "Show me your power, human." The marine's eyes narrowed. His voice came soft but steady. "Power is not always size." His words struck her pride. She roared and swung. Again, this time she tried to be faster. Her blade cut across the arena in a wide arc. The human ducked low, sliding under the strike. His blade flashed upward, striking her side. Sparks burst. The sound of metal against armor rang. The crowd gasped. Silence fell for a moment. The human had drawn blood. A thin line cut across her skin where the armor had broken. Dark crimson leaked into the sand. The alien giant staggered, her chest heaving. Her pride stung more than her wound. She gritted her teeth. "You dare wound me!" she shouted. Her voice cracked with rage. The human stepped back, his blade ready, his face calm. He spoke again. "I do not fight for pride. I fight to survive." The crowd erupted with noise once more. Half screamed insults at him. Half roared in awe of his strike. Doubt spread among them like fire. This was no simple fight. This was becoming something greater. The gladiator charged forward again. Her movements wild. She swung left, then right, each strike heavier than the last. The sand burst beneath her feet. Dust filled the air. But the human moved with purpose, his steps small, precise, his blade meeting hers at the exact moment needed. She grew slower. Her anger clouded her vision. Each failed strike weakened her pride. The marine's calm only made her rage burn hotter. She was strong, but her strength was being turned against her. The human's movements became sharper, his eyes focused on every detail. He watched the way her shoulders twisted before each swing. He saw the delay in her footing. He understood her rhythm, and then he broke it. He stepped inside her guard. His smaller blade moved like lightning. He struck across her leg, then spun and cut across her arm. Blood sprayed across the sand. The alien howled. Her knees bent. Her grip weakened. The crowd screamed louder than ever. Some shouted for her to kill him. Others gasped in disbelief. For the first time, their champion looked vulnerable. The human stood tall, his chest rising slowly with breath, his eyes steady, his blade lowered but ready. He had not broken a sweat. His voice carried again. "Strength without control is weakness." The words spread like a whisper across the arena. The aliens who had mocked him before now stared in silence, their laughter gone, replaced by shock. The gladiator panted, her chest heaving. Her armor dented and cracked. She glared at him. Her pride screamed to crush him. But her body began to fail. She realized his size did not matter. His patience, his control, his skill. These were weapons sharper than her blade. Still, she raised her weapon high, roaring again. She would not surrender, not yet. She charged, her blade aiming for his head. The human's eyes flashed. He shifted his stance. His body moved faster than sight. His blade struck hers at the perfect angle. The clash rang like thunder. Her weapon ripped from her hands, spinning across the arena and crashing into the sand. The crowd gasped. Thousands rose to their feet. The champion stood weaponless, her arms shaking. The human stood firm. His blade pointed at her chest, his calm face unbroken. Silence fell. The only sound was her heavy breathing. The giant, once mocking, now stood bare, and in that silence, Galaxy saw it, the hidden strength of the human, the strength that was not size, not muscle, but will, patience, and unshakable control. The crowd had mocked him, the gladiator had mocked him. But now they all saw the truth. The human was no prey. He was the predator. The crowd's roar shook the walls of the arena. Dust swirled in the air. The alien gladiator stood with empty hands, her massive weapon buried in the sand behind her. For the first time she looked unsure. Her golden eyes burned with both fury and shame. The human marine stood calm, his smaller blade steady. His chest rose and fell in slow rhythm. He showed no fear, no pride, only control. His eyes locked on hers, silent but sharp. The alien spat into the sand. Her pride would not allow surrender. She raised her fists, towering above him. Her voice echoed through the Colosseum. I need no blade to crush you, human. My hands are. Enough. The crowd cheered at her words. They wanted blood. They wanted a storm. Their chants filled the air. Fight, fight, fight. The Marine tilted his head, his eyes never blinking. Then come, he said quietly, his voice cut through the noise like steel. She roared and charged. Her massive body thundered across the ground. Her fists swung down like hammers. The sand exploded where she struck. But the human had already moved. He slid to the side, his blade flashing. It cut across her arm, blood spraying. The giant growled in pain but did not stop. She swung again. Faster, wilder, her fists tearing through the air, each strike stronger than the last. The human ducked, blocked, and countered, his movements sharp and efficient. The crowd screamed, half cheered her power, half gasped at his speed. This was no longer a simple fight. It had become a storm of will, a war of pride. The alien gladiators. Pride was her strength, but now it was also her weakness. Her strikes grew reckless. Her breath came harder. Sweat covered her red skin. Her golden eyes burned with desperation. The human saw it. He felt the rhythm of her fury. He waited, patient as stone. Then when she swung with all her force, he struck. His blade cut deep across her leg. Her knee buckled. She dropped to the sand, one knee down. The arena froze. Silence filled the air. The giant who had mocked him now bent in the dust, her pride bleeding into the ground. She roared again, slamming her fists into the sand. She forced herself to rise, her body trembling, but her pride refusing to die. I will not kneel to you, she shouted, her voice raw. Never. The Marine stepped back, his eyes still calm. His blade raised. Your pride blinds you, he said. His words cut sharper than his weapon. The crowd stirred. Some booed, some cheered, some whispered. The human speaks like a commander, not a victim. The alien charged again, her body weaker but her will stronger. She swung wildly, blood dripping from her wounds. The human blocked and twisted. His blade sliced again. Sparks flew, blood sprayed. Her roar filled the air, but her body staggered once more. Each time she rose, he knocked her back down. Each time. She shouted. His silence crushed her words. It was not just a fight of body, it was a clash of pride. The gladiator's pride screamed to win, but the human's pride was different. His pride was in control, in patience, in not being broken. The more she fought, the clearer it became. Her pride was heavy like chains, his pride was light like wind. Finally she fell again. Her knees hit the sand, her fists trembling, her chest heaving. The arena went silent, thousands of eyes fixed on her kneeling form. The human walked closer. His blade pointed at her throat, his voice calm. This Fight is over. Her eyes widened, her breath shook. She wanted to deny it, she wanted to rise, but her body betrayed her. Her pride screamed, but her strength was gone. The crowd erupted, some cheered the human's victory. Others screamed in disbelief. The champion had fallen. The giant had knelt before a soldier half her size. The alien's voice broke, low and raw. "No, not like this. I cannot fall to you." Her pride cracked like glass. The human stood tall, his blade still, his calm eyes never leaving hers. "You mocked me," he said, "but now the truth is clear. Size does not decide victory, will does." The words echoed through the arena. They cut deeper than any wound. The crowd grew silent again, their laughter gone, replaced by awe and fear. The gladiator lowered her head. Her fist trembled in the sand. For the first time in her life, she felt the weight of defeat. Her pride had met something stronger. The human marine stood over her, blade ready. But the question hung heavy in the air. Would he end her, or would he choose another path? The clash of pride was not yet finished. The choice he made now would echo across the galaxy.